Hello and welcome. My name is Rapukin, and this video is meant to be a feedback video for the new changes to the Survival Hunter in the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. This kind of came as a surprise to me because class balance is sort of something that happens near the end of a beta testing period for an expansion pack instead of near the beginning. In the early alpha, usually classes are pretty much like their previous counterparts, in this case their Legion versions, because you're not going to have so many people stress testing and giving feedback, and they want to make sure that things like the questing, the dungeons, the layouts, the actual content of their new expansion is ready before they start balancing the classes around that content. So I'm happy to see that there's a lot of changes for the Survival Hunter, and a lot of very good changes are made, so that's what I'm going to be talking about here. But first I want to talk about what I don't like about the current iteration of Survival Hunter in Legion. And I'm going to do this by going at a target dummy for a bit here. I'm going to use the standard single target raid talent, which is going to be Way of the Mok'Nathal, which is a attack power buff that you have to stack up 4 times using Raptor Strike, and you'll have to refresh it every 10 seconds, or else you'll lose 12% attack power, and that's a massive DPS loss. Use Mortal Wounds for Lacerate to generate Mongoose Sprite procs. Caltrops, which is a dot that goes on the ground. We'll use Serpent Sting, which puts a dot on Raptor Strike, and Spitting Cobra, which throws down a serpent that generates focus to kind of help prevent you from running dry on focus when you're in the middle of your rotation. To those of you who don't know, there's a whole lot going on with the Survival Hunter in what they have to do to play the rotation optimally. I'm not going to be able to do that and talk at the same time, but I'll kind of show you what I mean. I'll open up with an Explosive Trap, Harpoon on in, Lacerate, Caltrops, 3 dots there, stack Way of the Mok'Nathal up 4 times, hit Aspect of the Eagle, and just start Mongoose biting really hard. You want to get up to 6 if possible. There's a lot of Lacerate and RNG things that can proc it, resets on it. You want to get 6 charges in Fury of the Eagle. That's your artifact ability, which does more damage the higher stacks of Mongoose Bite you have, up to 6. So you want to keep Caltrops up, you want to keep Explosive Trap up, you want to keep Lacerate up, you do not want to drop Way of the Mok'Nathal, and you want to hit as many Mongoose Bites as possible within the 14-second window of Mongoose Fury, which is not extended with additional Mongoose Bites. So it's a whole ton to do. You want to do like 20 things in 14 seconds, and it's almost impossible to play optimally. So you can see by the week or how exactly involved this spec is. Alright, I'll back off here. It wasn't perfect. It was far from perfect, really. But it's very difficult to think and play at the same time with this spec as compared to other specs. With Arms Warrior, that's not really a problem for me, which is my main Team Fortress. But with my Survival Hunter, I gotta think really hard about keeping up these 6 different things, while also doing the boss's mechanics and making sure I'm positioned right. Some people enjoy that, but I would say for most, given Survival's class representation, and how it's kind of viewed as the community as kind of a pretty bad build, that it's just kind of overburdened. It's got too much going on. There's too many things to maintain, and combining all the dots with the burst window of Mongoose Bite and Fury of the Eagle, it's sort of like playing a Feral Druid and an Arcane Mage at the same time. And I'm at a 64 millisecond ping, which is pretty good. But things come down to the wire, to like the half second. The difference between a 6-stack Fury of the Eagle and being just like 0.5 seconds late when you cast it and letting all those stacks of Mongoose Fury drop, that's a massive DPS loss, and that's hard to recover from. It's extremely punishing, and if you try and do this with over 120 ping, let alone 200, it's going to be pretty much impossible to play optimally. So Next, I want to talk about the Battle for Azeroth changes, and boy, are they good. First of all, let's take a look at the talent window. Looking at the level 15 talent row, there's a placeholder talent here coming soon, but Way of the Mach Nathal is gone. That makes me very happy, because trying to hit Raptor Strike every 10 seconds while you're already trying to manage 3 other dots plus your Mongoose Bite window, it's really hard. It's actually kind of hard on the hands and wrists as well. It's like carpal tunnel waiting to happen. Next here we got... let me just say what's removed then. Explosive Trap and Caltrips are gone. They always kind of felt awkward, especially in single target, when you're throwing down these sort of AoE spells on the ground for the purpose of maintaining a dot on a target. It was always kind of awkward. So now instead, there's Serpent Sting, which is a ranged ability. They said in their recent Q&A that they want to bring some ranged back into the Survival Hunter repertoire. And then they've also got Wildfire Grenade, or Wildfire Bomb. And that's a pulsing AoE bomb thrown upon a target. So these are 2 things that go straight on the targets, not on the ground. Mongoose Bite is now a talent instead of baseline. It only stacks 5 times instead of 6. And you no longer have Fury of the Eagle to try and play around. So you can just try and focus on getting as many Mongoose Bites in that window as possible, while just maintaining the 2 dots. And to me, that just seems a lot more playable. There's also kind of a lot of room in this new talent window to play around with in terms of builds. One of the first ones I want to look at is the Kill Command build. If you don't know, Flanking Strike is no longer baseline in Battle for Azeroth. Instead, there's Kill Command that targets the pet, that tells the pet to attack, and generates focus. So Flanking Strike's a talent that will make you and the pet both attack the target when you Kill Command, and generate some more focus. You got Bloodseeker, which causes Kill Command to bleed on the target, and you and your pet will get an attack speed buff for making making targets bleed. So if you're getting resets on Kill Command in a multi-target situation, you can get a ton of attack speed, which seems like a lot of fun. You got Tip of the Spear, which sort of like Arms Warrior's Tier 21's 4-piece ability. Kind of makes Kill Command make your next Raptor Strike do more damage, stacking up to 3 times. So you can kind of either save those up if you don't need the focus, and then Raptor Strike really big, or you can kind of weave them together. And then we got... and that's not the only thing you can really do with these talents. Primal Instincts was another talent that caught my eye from the Bellular Gaming video. He was saying how it was kind of like the momentum build for Demon Hunters. Harpoon increases your critical strike chance for 12 seconds, and Disengage increases your haste by 15% for 12 seconds. So when you do these mobility spells, Harpoon like this, and Disengage like this, you're going to get all these buffs. And it may seem kind of weird because we don't have Fell Rush to get back in super quickly, but look at it like this. Aspect of the Eagle for Survival Hunters now gives your Raptor Strike range. It's sort of a placeholder graphic that it throws a kind of a green ghosty owl. I'm imagining they're going to do like a silver sort of eagle flying into the target, but while that cooldown's active, your range is all of a sudden a lot better. You got Serpent Sting, which is now ranged. You have Wildfire Bomb, which is now ranged. And while that cooldown's up, your Raptor Strike's going to be ranged as well. And Kill Command will still be your pet attacking the target, so that should be executable at range as well. So this will kind of create an interesting dynamic where you can kind of disengage out, do some range stuff for a while, and then when Aspect of the Eagle drops, you harpoon back in and you still get that buff. And even if you don't have Aspect of the Eagle up, when your dots are going to drop off, you can just disengage, throw your Wildfire Bomb, throw your Serpent Sting, and then go back in, and all of a sudden you didn't lose any damage to your GCDs being out of melee range. And you'll have that, I believe it's a haste buff? Yeah, haste buff. So that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And then there's also talents like Chakrams, which should be good sort of line cleave and AoE damage. And Butchery, which is my favorite Mythic Plus talent, is staying as well. If you haven't played a Survival Hunter in Mythic Plus yet, and you have a level 110 talent, or level 110 Hunter, I would highly suggest giving it a try. Pick up Animal Instincts, Snake Hunter, keep Caltrips, get Butchery and Expert Trapper, and you will just do crazy burst and sustained AoE damage. It's significantly simpler to use, but still fun and feels good to execute. So, I don't really take my Hunter into raids. He's always kind of been my alt, but whenever I've done Mythic Pluses, I've always, not always, but I like to bring my Hunter just because it's just so darn fun. So, with these new changes, that makes single target rotation a lot more viable to play optimally without breaking your hands. I'm really excited about these changes. So, I apologize for the crappy editing of this video, but I was so excited about the changes that I just had to make this. I hope you all enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.